People who have been extras on a porn shoot. What's your story, NSFW? This reminds me of that guy who played a blind dad whose daughter got pounded by his stepson in front of him. It was great. It was a spin-off of The Price is Right and I was the winner, so I came on down and plowed her. 10/10 would recommend. Guess I'll contribute one. Before anyone asks. No sources available. It was for a pay site and I've long since lost the ability to access it. One of my best friends and former FWB ran a website for a low-level porn producer. She talked me into being in front of the camera as sort of a fake cameraman who was on camera filming people have a sex. I was supposed to be a husband or boyfriend or whatnot who was filming his partner ducking someone. It was fun. I guess. Got to join in on the post-shoot hot tub parties. And slept with a few of the girls when they were off duty. All in all, it was a thing I did during my wilder days. Knew a girl who was an extra in one of the dancing bears. She said that everyone signed a waiver and the main chicks in the video that ducked the strippers were actual pornsters, but a few extras got carried away and sucked the strippers' D. So because nobody has actually been an extra on a porn shoot, per the request, I lied. 2 weekends ago I walked out my front door and there was just a dude walking down the sidewalk, was throwing out my old roommate's stuff and there was a super nice fitted A's hat and I asked dude if he wanted it. Brand new and I felt weird throwing it away. He said yeah. Randomly asked me if I'd ever thought about acting. Already knew where it was going but said sure. I mean, why not lay it on me? He offered me a blunt and told me that he makes porn in a house close to mine and that they're going to be doing a all black chicks plus white hipster video. What do I think? Could I lay it down on camera? Told him I'm sure I could. We exchanged numbers and he told me to hit him up if I was down. Didn't say no. Didn't say yes. So I could be an extra in a porn movie soon. Edit, not a troll joke. Live in South Central LA and sidewalks are very much a thing. Apparently they were shooting something on the balcony at Tracao House in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. I was in the background as I was next door doing work for Nola Live. My wife was an extra when we had sex the other night. My buddy used to be a camera guy and his wife the makeup artist on adult films in Chatsworth, CA. They invited me to come visit. I didn't know this meant I'd be in a scene. It was called Frat House Duck Fest and I'm the guy yelling duck her face over and over again while eating BBQ chicken. I was asked to be a camera operator for a porn. It was a kinky femdom style shoot. Over the course of 2 days the dom had a parade of men come in and do a scene with her. Twice during the shoot for whatever reason the man was a no-show. Each time that happened I locked the camera down on the tripod and stepped in as the sub. I'm really into femdom so it was a dream job both to shoot and act. She put me in bondage. Did impact play. Did some tease and denial. More impact. And finally let me orgasm. It was fun. Every time she visits my city for a porn shoot now she has a preferred cam op. My girlfriend shoots fetish stuff. Don't really have any stories like you are thinking of. The producers and models are all super nice people. The producer took us to Universal Studios the day after the shoot. Saw the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, so that was pretty cool. I can't remember the last time I saw porn with extras in it. More fan at me but. Full stop. More fan will not an extra but. Full stop. More fan at porn but. My dad is an actor and one of his first jobs was being the main non-sexual role in a porno, where he basically visited his high school graduation class crushes and was there to look at them having sex with other dudes. It's ducking hilarious. He basically said he got paid like $500 for the day, back in the 80s, and was just improvising the entire time. There's a scene where he smiles at the camera while peeking through his roommate's door. And the last scene is him half talking half crying to his roommate while he and another chick are going at it hard. The porno itself is absolute it. He was definitely the highlight. Can't remember the name though. Found it on Hamster. I used to DJ at a duck club, swingers bar, or whatever you call them in your area. Not quite the same. But you just stop noticing the naked after a short while. I was an extra for a gangbang scene. Unfortunately, I never got to get in on the action because the actress tapped out after the 50th guy. You'd think I would have been able to go first since she was my wife. Also, there were no cameras. I was offered once to be an extra. The father of a friend did porn movies and needed a few students for a classroom. I had to work, so I refused. That's the whole story. It was by accident. There was this website on Bangbros 10 years ago called Duck Team 5 where they filmed average guys banging porn stars. I was at the checkout line at a liquor store and they staged a couple of random guys next to me and 3 porn stars walked in to seduce them. It wasn't until years later that my friend discovered me and sent me a link to the video. The camera guy never asked me for permission to be on film, so I guess I could have sued. Not me, but this guy called Joey was an extra and he was the printer boy trying fix the copier while people having sex on it. His only line was, you know, that's bad for the paper tray. 14 comments and not a single one answering your question. That's rough, buddy. My time to shine. A few years back I was offered a role in a porn and as I was excited about the offer I accepted. It was standard uninterested husband horny wife plot. I stayed under the covers and pretended to be asleep while ass got smashed around me. I wasn't an extra, but actually auditioned for a porn when I was 18. After all the STD test they scheduled a live audition. I show up and meet the crew and the female actress I'm supposed to have a sex with, who is super hot BTW. No, I don't remember her name. So we finally get on set and it's time to get down to business and there are about 8 people in the room. I'm expecting most everybody to leave. I figured there would be me, her, the cameraman and maybe one other person in the room. The only problem was nobody is leaving the room. She starts by giving me a BJ. But I'm so nervous and with all the people watching my D has stage fright. They tell me to take a minute and go to the bathroom and try to get my little man to rise to the occasion. To make a long story short, I couldn't get it up in front of all the people. In my defense, I wasn't a virgin but I wasn't super experienced either. I was assured it wasn't a porn, just an erotic film, by the guy who introduced me to the project, but a few things tipped me off. Every other actor there was a porn actor. We had an alibi if the owner asked us what we were shooting. The title was a sexy riff on a well-known TV show. The director had exclusively directed porn for 40 years. Saw them shooting a scene where a dude was actively jerking off to a naked woman dancing. I just played a cop and never had to drop trowel. Highest paid acting gig I'd ever gotten up to that point in my life. When they asked me what I wanted to credit myself as, I realized I couldn't put my name on it. So I chose my friend's name, to whom I owed some mild revenge. It's still on his IMDb profile. Sorry, Mike. I was an extra. I actually didn't know it was porn until I got there. My role was I was sitting down at a cafe when the main 2 characters met. You see me for like a second. I got $100 pretty easy money. Would do it again. I was an extra for a public disgrace and an upper floor shoot for kink.com. It was super cool. For public disgrace they had an open bar. But if you chose not to drink you could actually play with the model during a couple parts of the shoot. This one chick jumped in at the first opportunity and just went to town finger banging the model lol. The upper floor shoot was basically a fancy sex party with a porn being shot in the background. They had an open bar, delicious appetizers, 6 toys and furniture to use. In the outside halls there had giant oil paintings of crazy kink shoots placed in golden ornate frames. It was the most posh sexy thing I've ever done. A friend of mine got to be a background extra in a porno for an all-porn site that was filming at his friend's coffee shop in Brooklyn after hours. It was supposed to look like the couple was ducking while disinterested customers just sat in the background. The male actor had trouble staying hard and they had to keep stopping and restarting. He said it seemed like everyone was pretty upset with the whole situation, and while they did eventually finish the scene, apparently it was bad enough that the site never even bothered to post it. Best comment of the day. Friend I used to date made me came for the first time. I have came before but never by another person. Haven't done anything sexual for about 3 to 4 months because it was long distance. The week I came back she did almost everything to me. At one point I thought I was going to come, but it became even more intense to the point where I couldn't control myself any longer. It was my first time orgasming. It lasted for about 20 seconds, and every part of my lower body was numb with what I can only say is please. I never even knew that feeling even existed, and never felt this feeling ever again.